Good afternoon. We begin with breaking news. Actor Sam Neill has died. His family sharing a statement a short time ago saying his loss is sudden and unexpected, but blessed by the fact that Sam remained cancer-free as they thanked staff at Sydney's St Vincent's Hospital. He was first diagnosed with a rare type of blood cancer in 2022. The New Zealand-born star was 78 years old. He appeared in blockbuster movies during a long film and TV career, including Jurassic Park. We'll bring you more on this breaking news throughout the bulletin. Sam Neill passing away, aged 78. Australia has farewelled one of its greatest medical minds, Professor Richard Scolyer, at a memorial service in Sydney. The former Australian of the Year was remembered as a great Aussie who inspired so many. Health editor Jennifer Beshwati was there.
Yes, good afternoon. Well, thousands have gathered here at the Sydney Opera House, a world-renowned venue for celebrations, to farewell and celebrate the life of Professor Richard Scolyer. Before he passed away, he said he wanted to be remembered as a proud, everyday Aussie who gave it a crack. He certainly was more than that. He revolutionised melanoma treatment, saving countless lives, but ultimately not his own. He died after a battle with brain cancer, diagnosed in 2023. Family, friends, patients, community groups, politicians and just general members of the public inspired by this man were all in attendance. We heard from the Governor-General Sam Neill, as well the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, who called him one of our brightest stars.
Richard did so much to push back the shadow of melanoma. And one day, when a cure for brain cancer is at last found, his name will be spoken.
He is already so terribly missed, but has left us with a mission to emulate his extraordinary example as a humble, big-hearted and hopeful Australian.
The stage was full of mementos from his life. A Sydney Swans jersey, his Australian of the Year medal, medical equipment and a Kubra hat and his bike. A significant one he rode on the Tour de Cure, one of the many charities he championed throughout his life. It was on a car leading the procession as riders arrived at the Sydney Opera House before the ceremony began.
Think bold and be brave was his message. We all have a responsibility to improve the lot of others and leave the world a better place. If, as Australians, we stick to these Richard Scolyer principles, our country will undoubtedly be the better for it.
He was simply a bloody good bloke and my best friend.
Beyond the professional accolades, he was a devoted family man. And today we heard a beautiful tribute from his wife and kids.
Richard's gone way too soon, and we will love and miss him forever. But when I look at his life and the people he shared it with, it was wonderful.
Our dad was the best dad we could have ever asked for, and he continues to inspire us every day. We're so lucky to call him our dad.
He was the most kind, generous, fun, loving and cheekiest person we knew.
The message today, keep funding medical science and research, and that legacy will continue at the Chris O'Brien Lifehouse, a dedicated team studying brain cancer in his name from this day forward.
An elderly man has been injured in a violent southwest Sydney home invasion. The 81-year-old fought off 3 intruders when they burst into his punch bowl property in the middle of the night. Police are now searching for the trio. Investigators are looking into whether the home invasion is linked to Sydney's underworld. An alleged drunk driver has taken out a traffic pole and a tree before crashing over the footpath and into a wall in Balgowlah. Pieces of the Porsche scattered along Condamine Street just before midnight. The 32-year-old man's licence was suspended after allegedly returning a breath test reading of 0.055. His passenger, a 30-year-old woman, was treated for minor injuries to her face. An explosive fire at a pub in the Thai capital Bangkok has killed at least 27 people, most of them locals. It happened in the early hours of this morning. Asia editor James Carmody has the latest.
Good afternoon. That death toll is expected to rise, with at least 63 injured people taken to hospital. We're told 22 had critical injuries. There's confronting footage of that inferno, which quickly took hold in that busy pub in northern Bangkok shortly after midnight. You can see people running out of the doors, chased by flames shooting from the entrance. It took firefighters half an hour to bring it under control. Thailand's Prime Minister visited the scene in the aftermath, and he says the fire may have started in electrical equipment near the stage where a band was performing.
It was blasting and everybody tried to flee themselves from the smokes and the flame. So many of them were not able to make their way out.
He says many victims were found trapped in bathrooms at the back of the venue as they tried to escape through the rear of the building. Our Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade says Australians will be shocked to hear of the terrible loss of life in Bangkok. Our sincere condolences are with all of those affected. Australian officials are making urgent inquiries to determine whether any Australians were affected, and they stand ready to provide consular assistance. We'll have the latest in 7 News at 6.
James Carmody. History has been made at Western Sydney International Airport just in the last 2 hours. The first cargo test flight has landed and the flight captain says it was perfect. Sam Payne was there for the moment.
Good afternoon. Well, after tracking it and waiting for it for nearly 2 hours, the first test freight plane has officially landed here at Western Sydney International Airport. The Qantas A321 had a total flight time of 30 minutes, travelling from Sydney's Kingsford Smith Airport before completing a picture-perfect touchdown.
It felt just like every other runway around the world. They've done a brilliant job. It looks like it's the right length. It looks like the right depth of concrete and bitumen on top.
Today's flight is the first in a series of live operational trials designed to test everything from the runway and cargo facilities to ground crews and airport systems in a controlled environment. In just a fortnight, this 24-hour cargo hub will begin commercial freight operations. The precinct is expected to handle up to 220,000 tonnes of freight each year, boosting Sydney's air cargo capacity.
We think we'll get a much quicker speed of delivery and actually create more time for consumers to shop domestically, because you can then shop later, pick up the parcel later, deliver it still on time, because we need less time in the sheds to be able to do that.
And once the cargo hub is fully operational, passengers will be next. Commercial flights to the Gold Coast, Melbourne, Brisbane and New Zealand will begin at the end of October. I'll have a full breakdown of every upcoming major milestone for this airport in the news tonight at 6.